I wanted to share this wonderful new find. It's a book called To Heaven and Back by Dr. Mary C. Neal. This book is so well written. I want to hear every word. I'm never tempted to skip forward, which happens, I have to admit, with some of the audiobooks I listen to. And I, in fact, go back and replay parts of it that I'm just like, wait a minute, I want to make sure I remember that. And I've also even made my own little phone videos so that I can remind myself of the important points that I want to remember. I think this is just a great book. And very quick summary, Dr. Neal died on a kayaking trip in South America. She crossed over to the other side, but it wasn't her time, so she had to come back. When she came back, the part of the book that has really meant the most to me is when she came back, she lost her vision for some time. Her vision was very blurry. She was not able to focus on a television or a magazine or faces, so she was very frustrated. She asked for a Bible anyway, and she tried to read it, and such an interesting thing happened. Most of it was out of focus and blurry like everything else, except for 3 verses. And these 3 verses carried these 3 messages. First, rejoice always. Second message, pray unceasingly. Third message, have gratitude for all things. Now, with respect to the first message, I try. But I'm like every other human being. I have my down days. I cannot rejoice always. I mean to. I set my sights there. Maybe the day will come. It's not here yet. But someday I bet I'll get there. But for right now, it's a target, and I try to remember to rejoice always. The second message I can absolutely follow. So pray unceasingly. I can talk to God pretty much all the time. I have no problem having a running conversation with God. When I'm around other people, I try to remember to keep it in my head. So that I don't get carted off to the loony bin. But when I can talk out loud to God, I do, because I've had this advice from a really wonderful psychic and astrologer here in my hometown of Richmond, Virginia, named Kay Cole. And she has told me more than once, say it out loud. It's important to say it out loud. So when I can, I talk to God out loud. And that's how I follow the second important message that Dr. Neal has to share. And then the third message of gratitude for all things at all times, I had actually long ago started to incorporate, and I've gotten pretty good at it already by the time I've heard this. I have my own interesting story that involves the number 3. I had 3 dreams of these strange shoes. They were beige patent leather pumps. And I looked high and low in the dream dictionaries. I was trying to figure out, what could these shoes mean? I don't have any shoes like that. I could not figure it out. Then at work one day, there was a training session on how to relax through meditation. I walked into the room, and the trainer had on those shoes. She was a hypnotherapist, and the minute I saw those shoes, I knew. I was like, okay, I've got to get her card. And I've been working with her ever since, and it's just been a wonderful experience. But what I have learned is that, and this is through a lot of reading different books, that our subconscious is in control of 90% of our behavior. We think our conscious mind is, but it's not. It's our subconscious that controls 90% of our behavior. And it has taken in the messages it has heard over the years, whether they're good for us or not, and those guide us. Especially the messages that we got when we were young, the teachings from our parents that may have been well intended but may not be very profitable and beneficial for us at this point in our lives. So if you want to have more control over what really is guiding your decision making and your thought process, you want to control your subconscious. Now, how do you do that? Hypnotherapy. And what it requires is hearing a particular message for a minimum of 3 weeks in a row, 21 days in a row. But I actually will go to my hypnotherapist, discuss with her the information, the thoughts that I would like to be put into my subconscious, and I will listen to them for months at a time. And she says that she has some patients who listen for years, but if there's a message that I really want to be my guiding principle and to be my sort of knee-jerk reaction to things, I absolutely go and get a hypnotherapy MP3 made, and then I put that on something that I can listen to at bedtime, and every night as I'm drifting off to sleep, I listen to my hypnotherapy MP3s so that my subconscious can take in those principles, those messages, those beliefs and understandings that I want to guide me. And one of the big ones that I've been listening to for months, I'm sure over a year now, is for gratitude to be my first response to everything that happens to me in my life. So I actually already had been working on message number 3 that Dr. Neal got from her experience after her near-death experience. So this book is just really fantastic, and I highly recommend it. Dr. Neal went through a lot to pick up that baton that she passed to me when I listened to this, and now I'm passing that baton to you. And I wish you great luck and success and happiness in this next leg of the race that you're going to run with the baton in hand. God bless you.